Federation and Ogun State Development Council. So it's going to be a bumper interactive stakeholders meeting, and your comments, your suggestions, your views, and your inputs will be well welcome. Don't forget that we did something like this for the year 2020 budget. Today, it's a bit different because we are moving with the new normal, and I'm sure that you all know the reason for this. It's just because of the present situation that is happening all over the world. But that's as it may, it cannot restrict us. We still need to find another means of ensuring that we must keep the ball rolling, and we should not drop the box. And if you ask me, this is another way of thinking outside the box, just to ensure that we all move towards the same goal and we realize our objectives. One more time, I'd like to plead that very shortly we will be starting. We have the inputs of our youths and our students, our trade unions, and of course the organized private sector. The input of our women will be very, very crucial and instrumental to this budget presentation. Yes, everyone should be prepared. Let's get our questions ready. Forward. Our budget, we would want to be improved or to be the our youths will be very you want as a means of moving our state forward, ensuring that we do it together. Yes, your comments, your views will be well respected and well observed as well. One more time, I say a very beautiful morning to all of us, and just we will be starting this virtual stakeholders town hall meeting as it regards the 2021 budget.
meeting, local governments in Ogun State, trade union members, various groups, associations, members of the Community Development Council. Adesu, Abisi, Basike Otari, and Itoji. And of course, His Royal Majesty, that I carry to the Royal Kingdom. Abisi. Was held in all the three senatorial districts of Abia State to have our input as we prepare for the 2020 budget. Today, we are kicking off with such of the stakeholders meeting in the preparation for the year 2021 budget. And as we all know, that the current situation in the country is not making us to have the physical stakeholders meeting, but a virtual one. And this is the new normal, the virtual meeting. Therefore, we want to say a very big thank you to all those who are joining us in this virtual meeting, and we appreciate your efforts. Of course, I must recognize some of our participants, especially our youths and our students, who've been on to be part of the stakeholders meeting as we prepare for the year 2021 budget. Your Excellencies, very distinguished participants, at this point, I'll be calling on the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and to officially welcome all of us. But before that, we'll have the opening prayer as I invite the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Protocols and Ceremonies, Pastor Moses Kibaya, to lead us.
Thank you very much, the Permanent Secretary, Bureau of Protocols and Ceremonials. Still talking about the medium-term expenditure covering the 2021 to 2023. That's why we're having. That's why we're having a stakeholders meeting here today. And straight away, like I said, we will be inviting the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olaogo Olabinto, for his welcome address. The Honorable Commissioner, sir.
year as we plan for the 2021 to 2023 cycle and the year 2021 budget. It is indeed a unique opportunity considering the fact that our state has had to deal with the effects of COVID-19, which ravaged the entire world. No doubt, our amiable governor has been proactive in dealing with these effects. And so in the same spirit, we are having this meeting today to further obtain your thoughts and contributions as we put together the medium-term expenditure framework for 2021 to 2023, as well as the year 2021 budget. You would agree with me that since the inception of the current administration, that is the President administration, your invaluable support, cooperation, and assistance uphold our aspirations with respect to moving the state forward. Our dear state has experienced tremendous improvement in various sectors, and this is an attestation to the fact that this administration is continually working at eliminating poverty and underdevelopment using best practices. Let me therefore remind you that this meeting is an opportunity for you to express your desires and opinions. It has become our individual and collective responsibility to restore the status of our dear state beyond the setback experienced as a result of COVID-19. This is most important as we navigate the roadmap of our fiscal horizon for the next year. Towards this end, on behalf of His Excellency and the entire ESCO, I appreciate every one of you that has taken time to be part of this meeting. I encourage all of us to make constructive contributions that will help us to move our dear state forward. I assure you that your contributions will all be processed and prioritized, and together we will move our dear state forward. Once again, I welcome us all to this all important town hall meeting. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Ogun. And we also like to have a good message coming from the Chief Economic Advisor and the Honorable Commissioner for Finance in the Gateway State, Mr. Jocko.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dr. Ogun, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, the Secretary to the State Government, the Head of Service, the Chief of Staff, other commissioners present here. Please permit me to expand on existing protocols. At the emergence of this administration, we will kindly recall our promise of good public financial management system that is transparent, accountable, with the ultimate goal of public deliverables for the entire people of Ogun State. In this regard, I welcome you all to the second town hall meeting with the good people of Ogun East Senatorial District of Ogun State. To say the least, this year has been very, very challenging, especially from the onslaught of the COVID-19 pandemic on the economic survival of many countries, including Nigeria and that of our dear states. In spite of the unprecedented challenges, this auspicious time has also afforded us an opportunity for deep reflection, especially on many areas where we require higher levels of effectiveness and efficiency in our processes and cost of governance. We have therefore used this opportunity to look inwards identified improvement areas, and implementation strategies for quick economic recovery. These include, but not limited to, several process reengineering and financial management reform initiatives aimed at cost efficiency and in our internally generated revenue IGR. These and many other such initiatives will form the basis of our 2021 budgeting process, of which this stakeholder forum is a key part. I therefore want to encourage all distinguished stakeholders to remain fully engaged with the government in the task of building our future together, while we now listen to your thoughts, ideas, and contributions in putting together this 2021 budget. My sincere appreciation to our royal fathers, representatives of traditional councils, religious leaders, community development associations, cooperative societies, the organized private sector, professional bodies, trade associations, non-governmental and civil society organizations, labor and student unions, amongst others. Once again, I encourage you all to remain committed and continually support our administration as we deliver the dividends of democracy. Thank you and God bless.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Commissioner for Finance and the Chief Economic Advisor. In Ogun State, the agenda is building the future, and we have to do it collectively, together. We're very much on course under the leadership of Prince Dr. Abiodun-led administration. And therefore, I'll be inviting His Excellency, the Governor of the State, Prince Dr. Abiodun NFR, for his opening remarks. Your Excellency, sir.
My Excellency, the Deputy Governor of the State, Honorable Speaker of the State Assembly, Secretary of State Government, the Service, Chief of Staff, other members of the State Executive Council, particularly the Commissioners for Finance and the Commissioners of Open Planning, who are jointly adopted responsible for the event we are hosting today. Our reverse communities, particularly our permanent rulers, Royal Majesty, Vice Additional, and permanent ruler, who is also the chairman of our council of others. The Royal Majesty of Additional region, for carrying our permanent ruler of remnants. All our elder statesmen and leaders of thought across the district, community development association heads, our representatives, our religious leaders, our members of civil society organizations, our great Nigerian students, all our other critical stakeholders, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen. I join others to welcome us all to this important virtual budget town hall meeting. This town hall meeting, which is focused on the East, is the first of three such meetings that will be held across three central districts as part of the activities towards the preparation of our 2021 budget of the state. You will recall that the process of this town hall meeting started last year in 2019. The idea is to allow for a broader participation of our people in our decision-making process. And in fact, the budget is a vital document for development making process. So our people should always be provided the avenue to contribute to the preparation of this document in line with our inclusive approach to government. Let me say that we consider this year town hall meeting virtually because of the need to conform to the COVID-19 guidelines and protocols. Without a doubt, global economies have been seriously affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, and Nigeria has not been exempted. We are confronted with global pandemic that has impacted negatively and so profoundly on not only public health, but has undermined socio-economic development efforts. We will all recall that the state was one of the three locations alongside Lagos State and Abuja that were locked down by the president as part of the national effort to flatten the fall of the spread of this virus. We thank God that though our state holds the unenviable record of being the location of the index case in Nigeria, we have been able to manage the pandemic in a manner that produce outcomes that are widely commended. Even at that, we evolve practical strategies to realize our commitment to welfare, wellness, and well-being for people at all times. It was a response to the pandemic that the current year's budget was reduced downward from 450 billion to 280 billion in tandem with the economic reality in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. So the local government tackled the effects of the pandemic and put necessary infrastructure in place. 20% of the year 2020 rights and operation was allocated to the health sector. In life businesses, various relief were given to business owners as part of the preventive measures to assist them cope with this economic life and ensure business continuity. These relief packages included a 6-month extension of the year 2019 income tax return deadline for self-employed residents from March 2020 to September 30, 2020. We also granted an 8-month extension for filing of 2019 annual pay returns by paying operators and tax agents from January 2020 to September 2020, as well as complete waiver of interest and penalty for late filing for this extension period. In addition to businesses, our administration distributed palliative over 400,000 vulnerable households to cushion the effect of the COVID-19. At an average of 5 to 6 calls per household, this translates to about 2.4 million individuals. For us in the state, we appreciate the fact that not only telling people to contribute to their quota in successfully mention our mission and cultural agenda. This is why we have set up a more multi-dimensional approach to our healthcare development. As we all know, the state has expended heavily in procuring necessary health equipment for combating COVID-19, just as isolation and test centers were being put in place across the state. While the goal to have a fully state-funded NCDC accredited COVID-19 mobile molecular laboratory in the country, which has a 450 persons per day test capacity in order to speed up testing of citizens and reduce the user around time from about 3 to 4 days to just a few hours. These and other initiatives were implemented to combat, contain the spread of this deadly virus in the state. Major critical projects were embarked upon across the state while the pandemic was being managed. Roads and infrastructure are ongoing for all to see. Specifically, in the list, some of these projects include the main road, there is a street in Peru, you are wide and was two in Shagamu, the bright fashion of street in Shagamu, the Shagamu or a interchange flyover road, the Molipa is going to job as street the Shapauki, Shapa is the Ayubo street the Uganda street, these roads are in addition to hospitals, primary healthcare centers, schools, and other infrastructure projects, including affordable housing being a backlog by this administration. Again, various agricultural programs have been initiated, such productive schemes like the Agro scheme, the Madama Guy scheme, the Brother project, the Cassava scheme, amongst others, have turned a wide range of people into agri entrepreneurs. I'm delighted that despite COVID-19 in this lockdown, we consider the agri sector a useful sector that was exempted from this lockdown. And benefits have been so significant and manifest the number of our youth who were productively engaged and indeed were earning income while the lockdown lasted. Given the devastating economic impact of COVID-19 as a result of the significant loss in economic activity into this lockdown, we are refocusing our efforts at ensuring that business activity return to normalcy as soon as possible so that government will be on track to ensure optimal budget performance even in these circumstances. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, most of these town hall meetings today, the symbolic approach of inclusiveness, fairness, justice, equity, and respect the rule of God in our government. The benefit of this experience we have in this outgoing year, government will remain proactive in the year 2021 to improve on the efficiency of service delivery, revenue drive, public-private partnership, amongst other initiatives to ensure that we are still able to deliver on our promises despite the steep decline in revenue from the provision accounts. We shall rely more on the internally generated revenue from the state internal revenue service, GRS, and other revenue sources. In this regard, we have strengthened the GRS, including the appointment of a seasoned and professional person as the chairman. While being mindful of the need to avoid unnecessary tax burden and seasons, we appeal to them to continue to support us by discharging their civic duties in a joint task of building the state of our future together. We shall continue to give utmost priority to capital project investment in education, health, and infrastructure sectors. We continue to sustain payment of salaries, pensions, and gratuities within the limited resources. It is instructive that we have commenced the implement of the new minimum wage in October of this year to demonstrate our commitment to workers' welfare. We expect them in turn to reciprocate this gesture with improved productivity and service delivery. We will continue to carry out thorough review of wide expenses, while a reasonable percentage against the generation prospect of each FTA in the states. As this gathering, we will also cross-fertilize ideas, not only to improve our commitment to our people in the state, but also in preparation of a more viable year 2021 budget that will ensure more individual prosperity and improve the economy of our dear state. This is not just a talk show. Our people are therefore encouraged to contribute and take maximum advantage of the platform to express their views and aspirations on and improve the 2021 budget. Rest assured that all your comments, recommendations, proposals, feedback will be adequately and appropriately considered for the preparation of the year 2021 budget. We all have responsibilities to ensure a more robust fiscal year that will sustain our policy and program towards the successful implementation of our Building Our Future Together agenda. The year 2021 budget year approaching, we need a holistic consideration of our needs and strategically apply our limited resources to areas that bear on the welfare of the citizenry. Let me use the opportunity to inform our people of other two central districts, the West and the Central, to look for the same virtual meeting and prepare to contribute their inputs towards the successful preparation of the year 2021 budget. I also call on all regular stakeholders to continue to cooperate, collaborate with us towards building a viable future of their state. The journey to economic prosperity has just begun, and by the determination of all of us and the special grace of the Almighty, we shall reach the promised land. Once again, I welcome you all to this important town hall with virtual meeting in the East Central District. I thank you for listening to me.
I say a very big thank you to His Excellency, the Governor of the State, Prince Dr. Abiodun NFR about all-inclusive opening remarks, setting the pace for today's interactive session with our stakeholders as it pertains to the year 2021 budget preparation by all the officials concerned. We are going straight to the business of the day, which is the interactive session with our stakeholders. And like His Excellency rightly stated in that opening remarks, it's very, very crucial to the preparation of this budget for the new year 2021. Let's start off with our professional bodies. And we will be having the chairman of the District Society of ICANN, Mr. Stephen Dilly, Bugioro FCA, who will be joining us. Mr. Stephen, if you are there, you can just unmute yourself and let's have your comments. Thank you very much. Mr. Stephen Dilly, Bugioro FCA, and we have your comments as the chairman of the Djibouti District Society of ICANN.
Excellency, Prince Dr. Abiodun MFR, Excellency, Deputy Governor of Ogun State, all other protocol duly observed. I'm very grateful for the opportunity given to me to be part of this program. As a professional and a chairman of Djibouti and District Society of ICANN, I want to appreciate the Ogun State government for all the good works they have been doing. They have been doing wonderfully well. However, in preparation for 2021 budget, where I like to contribute all these, I like to send in my input. We are aware that we are just recovering from COVID-19 pandemic, and this has a serious adverse effect on the economy, so to say. So we are expecting to reinvigorate the economy using this fiscal stimulus. How do I mean? I mean that we should encourage all our small and medium enterprises to keep functioning. But we should be encouraging them because they are the first enterprises with the bottom closer to people. By encouraging this set of people, they are also contributing to their own quota to the development and the progress of the state. So I want to say that for them to grow, the government should look at the tax impact on this aspect of entrepreneurs. To some extent, I want to suggest that the tax burden should not be too much on the small and medium enterprises in the state for them to be able to thrive very well. Secondly, sir, I want to say that capital expenditure should also be embarked upon. By doing this, it will encourage many people to have things doing, and there'll be some capital outflow, which will stimulate demand in the state. I want to appreciate our governor for the relief package so far to the people. However, I want to suggest that as a result of the COVID-19 that has just gone by, many people lost their jobs, and we need to fix all this. So I want to suggest that no matter how, the government should keep on intensify efforts in ensuring that we have some creation of jobs for all the people that lost their jobs.
Sorry, Mr. Stephen, because of time constraints.
Oh, okay, all right, just a minute more. Finally, I want to suggest that our youth should be engaged positively. Thank you so much, and I appreciate you for encouraging me.
Thank you you very much, Mr. Stephen, for that brilliant contribution. And still with the professional bodies, I'm sure the chairman, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria, is also with us. That's Ms. Edith. Ms. Edith, if you can hear me, just unmute yourselves and let's have your contributions as well. Please, let's remember about 2 minutes allotted to everyone contributing so that we have other inputs coming from other stakeholders as well. Ms. Edith. Hello, Ms. Edith, can you hear me? Sorry, it appears that we're having some challenges connecting Ms. Edith there. Now, can we go straight to the community development councils? They are nearer to our people and their input is indeed very, very crucial as well. First, I will be taking the chairman of the State Trade Council. I'm sure he's set for us. And next, we'll take on the chairman of the Community Development Council. And after that, we'll wrap it up with the chairman of the Cooperative Federation, one after the other. But first, as we move to the Community Development Council, let's take the chairman of the State Trade Council, Mr. S.A. Bankole. Mr. Bankole, if you can hear me, can we have your contribution? Thank you.
All artisans in Ogun State, Governor of Ogun State. In our association, grant in aid, we want more money for grant in aid. We need land to build our parent secretary, 18-seater bus for the council. Jerusalem buildings for Christian and Muslims. Federal government intervention fund, which has been given to other artisans in other states. First state has been giving that money, and we need the intervention of the federal state government to please help us. Thank you, and God bless.
The chairman of the state has been ready to achieve that we
Grant in aid. Land to build a permanent secretariat, 18-seater bus for the council. Mega buildings for Muslims. Development of trade associations and artisans in Ogun State. Support for artisans. Development support for artisans in Ogun State. Equipment for us. Thank you.
State Council. We seem to be having some challenges with the audio, but let me also state here that you can also submit your contributions, your comments, and your suggestions as rightly registered prior to this virtual meeting through our email, and we'll attend to it. So whatever suggestions that you have for us, you can also back it up by submitting via the email, and we will definitely treat it. And if you have already prepared speech, perhaps in any of the nearest locations to you, you can also forward this to us, and it will get to the attention of the appropriate quarters and appropriate authorities to attend to that. Having done with the chairman of the State Trade Council, can we have the contribution from the chairman of the State Community Development Council, Alhaji Ukudui? Alhaji, you can unmute yourself so that we can hear you clearly. Your microphone is still muted, please.
Yes. Good afternoon. Thank you for inviting us to this program. Ogun State Community Development Council for Ogun East. We need the government to please do a lot of things for us, and that is one, the granting need for this year and year 2019. We have become in the opportunity for the government to keep us this granting need. Again, the government should please disburse to ECDs the granting need for this year, and they should please include the granting need for 2021 in the budget. Then, World Community Day is every November of the year. That's the World Community Day. This year is to start by now. Progress to the Ministry of Community Development and Stability. Here, all the projects are. Then in Ogun East, we have a bridge that's over Osun River in Ijebu Northeast. That bridge has claimed a lot of life. We want the government to please look into this bridge and rehabilitate this bridge for us. A lot of life has been lost in that area. So we implore the government to please assist us to do this bridge so that people can move freely from one place to the other. We know our project, the community project, is that we have done a lot of roads in our local governments. We are able to move a little bit. We have rehabilitated so many roads, and on health center too. We have that's a primary health centers. We don't have enough nurses in those primary health centers. And in Ogun East, we have we want the government to please make sure that in the 2021 budget, the primary health problem is included so that we can have more Development Institute as Shasha, the government should please look at it too. We have been asking that the Social Development Center should have a government council. So we want the government to please look at this, because this is where all leaders in Ogun State and even in West Africa is being trained. So it's a leadership institute where leaders are trained to be able to manage the center has been on for the past 50 years. And we want the government to please inaugurate then we thank the government for all the government work it's been doing for community as a whole. We appreciate the way that government has handled the past events, and we pray that the state will continue to prosper. We again advise the government that road maintenance is very, very important in the life of people. So, like we've been saying, Ministry of Works, they have a lot of role to play, where we should have road road maintenance assistants, road supervisors, and all those that are necessary to do this road, so to maintain roads. So given the to contract contract is just a job that has to end. Maintenance of roads is continuous. So government should look at this so that our roads and other places of infrastructure will continue to be maintained from time to time. Again, sir, the year 2020-21, these are the time that Sha.
The state chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun State, Chief Yemi Shanusi, we appreciate you for being part of this all-important meeting. And of course, the chairman of the Governors Elders Consultative Forum.
All right, thank you.
The chairman of the Governors Elders Consultative Forum, Chief Boyejo, we appreciate you for being part of this discourse as well. We'll be taking the last contribution from the Community Development Council representatives. This time around, we take the chairman, Ogun State Cooperative Federation, Alhaji Balogun. You can hear me, and we have your contributions. Unmute yourself, and then we can take your contribution. First, unmute yourself, and then we'll have your contribution. Thank you.
Alhaji Balogun, if you can hear me, just
Hello. Hello.
Your Excellency, Prince Dr. Yeah, good afternoon, sir. Your Excellency, Prince Dr. Abiodun, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, all other protocol duly extended. On behalf of the corporate movement of Ogun State, we want to appreciate His Excellency for what he has been doing since his assumption of office in 2019, especially in spite of the problem faced by the country with COVID-19, we still see some development. Going on here and there through the handiwork of His Excellency. We appreciate all this. But what I want to ask, the president of the cooperative movement grant, the annual grant to our movement, always help us to push.
A few technical hitch there. We hope that we'll be able to reconnect Alhaji Balogun back as we progress this interactive stakeholders meeting. Let's quickly cross over to the side of the state chairman, state chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief Yemi Shanusi. I'm sure he's standing by now so that he can harvest his own contributions and suggestions on this interactive session. Chief Yemi Shanusi, you can hear me. Can we take your contributions? Chief Shanusi, you can just unmute yourself and then we'll take your contribution, sir. Chief Shanusi, we can't hear you from this side. Maybe you can just put in a little energy to that voice so that we can hear you clearly from this side. Oh, sorry, it appears we have to cross over from Chief Shanusi to another sector because we are not having a good audio. We're not even hearing his contribution at all. Once we're able to sort that out, I believe it's from the other end. We'll bring Chief Yemi Shanusi back to have his contributions. This stick. We have the Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Nigeria. Mrs. Ude Oluwakemi. If you can hear me, we'll also like to have your own contribution to this important meeting today. Association of Women Entrepreneurs of Nigeria. Mrs. Ude Oluwakemi. If you can hear me, let's have the inputs of women as well, so that it will be an all-inclusive comment suggestions as we look forward to preparing the 2021 budget. Mrs. Ude Oluwakemi, if you can hear me, I will take your contribution. Ms. Oluwakemi.
Good afternoon.
To drop in your contributions, your comments, and your suggestions.
Good afternoon, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun. We are grateful for including us to this great meeting of today, the virtual meeting of the 2020 to 2021 budget planning for Ogun State. So we are grateful. What we want from our state governments in the area of women entrepreneurs is that we want the state government to include women into the budget planning to support women on our business, so that most of women can have enough to establish and invest their business in a meaningful manner that will contribute greatly to the economic of Ogun State. Because women in their own area have been trying, working hard, but what we discover is that most of women has no enough money to carry out their daily business in a better way. So we are pleading with our state governor, our amiable governor, Abiodun, to please do better for women concerning our business in Ogun State in this budget of 2020 to 2021. Also, we are pleading with the Ogun State government to kindly raise subventions, and grants for civil society organization and women groups, small-scale business, as well as free education for children and adults with special needs. With special needs people in the state. So we catch if our request will be included so that women will be liberated in our society. because most of women have been trying on their own area of their commitment. But we are pleading with our state government to kindly support women, give us grants so that our business will move and we too will be able to do what is entailed about us in the states. So we are grateful. We are also begging the state governments, our His Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun, to kindly put more support in women entrepreneurs. I'm speaking from Ogun State Women Entrepreneurs, Association of Women Entrepreneurs, Ogun State Chapter. So we are grateful, and God will continue to enlarge Ogun State at large. Thank you. My name is Olude Oluwakemi Ibilola from Ogun State Women Entrepreneurs. Thank you.
For that, so we have Dr. Squadron from the Women Support and Care Initiative still online, and we harvest your own contribution as well. Dr. Mrs. Squadron, please. All right. While we wait for Dr.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello.
Hi, good afternoon, ma. We can hear you, Dr. Mrs. Quadri. All right, it seems as if we lost the audio line there from Dr. Mrs. Quadri. Now, let's now have the Ogun State Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Chief Yemi Shanusi, as we harvest his own contribution.
COVID-19 might not allow us
Like I informed us earlier on, the chairman of the Governors Elders Consultative Forum is also part of this discourse. That's our Papa, Chief Boyijo. Would like to also take his contributions for this interactive session. Papa, Chief Boyijo, if you can hear us, let's just have your contribution now, sir. Chief Boyijo. Papa Chief Boyijo, we're getting across to you now. We'd like to take your contribution, sir.
Thank you very much. Are you hearing me?
I hear you loud and clear, sir.
Thank you very much. I want to say good morning to all distinguished members on the high table. I want to congratulate our governor for this day, this town hall meeting, slightly different from what it was last year. And we thank God that we are part of it this time again. I want to say very clearly and happily too, that as chairman of the Governor's Elders Advisory Council, I have been monitoring the development in the state in the last 1 year. And I want to say personally, not exaggerating, to say that the government in that year has touched virtually all the 3 senatorial districts in the state. And particularly in the 5 key areas of governance. If I recall, this is infrastructure, social welfare and well-being, education, youth empowerment, and agriculture. I want to say that in these 5 key areas, commendable actions have been taken. This is not saying that improvements are not required in some other areas, in some of these areas. But in this, my contribution to this budget, I want to touch on 1 or 2 areas for purposes of emphasis. On infrastructure, I want to commend the government for touching not only the rural areas, but the cities that have been neglected for over 8 years. We all know, of course, that it's a huge deficit in the area of infrastructure. But what has been done so far, to me, is commendable. All I will say that in the new year 2021, a little more emphasis should continue to be placed on infrastructure. I don't know what is being proposed for the budget, but whatever it is, emphasis should continue on infrastructure. This time around, I want to plead that in looking at infrastructure, concentration should not be given to just city roads, rural roads, and so on and so forth. But the reservation areas are being completely neglected. When I say reservation area, I mean the government reservation areas, the GRAs. The road networks in some of these places, particularly in the one that I know personally, I will plead that it be taken along on the development of infrastructure. On education, I am also particularly happy that considerable work has been done, particularly in the area of ICT and youth empowerment. I want to commend His Excellency and his team for a job well done. Again, because of the gap in the 2021 year budget, emphasis should also continue to be placed on ICT and youth empowerment. My last contribution, of course, is in the area of agriculture, where I happen to have some little knowledge. The government is doing extremely well in the area of agriculture. But the emphasis that is required, I agree that a lot is being done. The and so on and so forth, those have been done. But the problem of land acquisition for agriculture is a key ingredient. In our little area here around the Jabode, specifically everywhere, and all the farms that we have around the local governments, we have problems on land ownership, because our farmers want to expand. Even where we exist, encroachment is not helping the stakeholders at all. I'm sure the government is looking at some of our problems, which we've taken up with the government, and help us to solve them. I believe agriculture is one of the key areas of our growth and development in Ogun State. I very much believe it. And I will just believe that in the new year, I commend the Commissioner for Agriculture. I see him virtually every day on the farm, but I'm sure by the time they double his budget in the new year, it will slim down. The size will, I'm yet to see him slim down. Because a farmer, by the time he show the affluence. Well, this is just by way of jokes. I want to commend him. I see him often on the field. He's doing a good job, but there are other areas where they have other farmers who have problems on land matters. Some are individuals, some are stakeholders. The issue of land should be taken up seriously so that our big farmers can expand on more people in the area of agriculture. I think this is the issue that I want to add to my question. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, for giving me the opportunity to contribute. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, the chairman of the government, Papa, Chief Ugoijo, beautiful and brilliant contribution. If we have the chairman of the Conference of Political Parties still with us, would like to have your own suggestions, comments, and input as well. The chairman of the Conference of Political Parties, which we have in, and we quickly have your comments as well. as we wait for his connection, I'm sure Dr. Mrs. Corey is standing by. We actually set her down when Chief Yemi Sanusi had that connection. Women Support and Care Initiative, that's where Dr. Mrs. Corey is represented, and we can now take your contribution now. Dr. Mrs. Quadri, Women Support and Care Initiative. Unmute yourself and let's have your interview.
Of Ogun State, Prince Dapo Abiodun, protocol observed, and people of the forum. Good afternoon all. My name is Dr. Molara Quadri, a team leader of great organization called Women's Support and Care Initiative, WOTSIN. I'd like to thank our dear Ogun State Governor and other members of Agriculture Department for the great work they are doing, which Women's Support and Care Initiative has already keyed into. Presently, we are in 4 local governments with our women farmers that are ready to work with very well and make sure agriculture is really a great thing in this Ogun State. We have been on, we started this initiative 2 years ago, working in various fields. I am glad to be part of this agriculture in Ogun State. Thank you very much for the opportunity. As I speak right now, we even have a platform where we train women on how to plant tomato and pepper and others, which a lot of them are doing very, very well. But I would like to ask for some favor for the women. Number one is empowering them on the off-farm and on-farm income generating activities, OFIGA. Number two, we would like to give our women training and building capacity for the women to have startup pack on different enterprises across the value chain. Addition of women farmers are very important. Some of our women, for the past 20 years we have seen a lot of them that really need the government support in the area of taking care of their family, especially those women that are single mothers. I have heard some women telling me they are coming to give their children to me, or they will throw them inside the sea. Which we need the government to please look into this as well. See how we can help the single mother. We have a lot of them, widows, that really need financial assistance to take care of their children. We want our able governor to please, in year 2021, you should please help the women. We have a lot of them that are ready to work, but they do not. But when you teach them, they will tell you they don't have the tools. So please ask for the help to help these women to have little money to start doing certain things at the right time. So therefore, we also have so many of them that are farmers that are really looking for things like tractor and other tools to work with, to have mechanized farming. And also, many of them are complaining that they need off-takers. That's like some of the people that are into tomato and pepper, they complain that most of them, when they, after finishing planting, taking them to market, sometimes they price them less. And for this reason, what can we do? Can we have a special market for them so that they will be able to continue to do, or the government will need to help them to organize something that will help them to get those produce out at the right prices. So therefore, we would like to call on the help of the governor or the government to please help them in this area, especially some of them that are medically not okay. They are complaining so much that nobody is helping them, and they are dying for so many diseases. My prayer is that Ogun State will move forward in a great dimension from now in the mighty name of Jesus. So please, I will ask all the government to please look into all this and help us, please. A lot of women are crying. A lot of women, they want to work, but they don't have tools, and they don't have financial support. We are told that they're going to give them money to start to farm. That was about few months ago, and we have been working every day to make sure we always give them hope. So we pray that this hope will surely come to pass. Thank you very much for giving us the opportunity to say our mind out today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mrs. Quadri of the Women's Support and Care. You recollect that
you're welcome, sir.
Is on the forefront of championing the cause for the youths and ensuring that their voices, their inputs, their suggestions, their comments are well attested. And as it pertains to the year 2021 budget, we'll also like to have the inputs of the youths so that whatever they want and their ideas will also be in the 2021 budget. Let's quickly have the comments from the Ogun State National Youth Council of Nigeria, that is NYCN, Mr. Abdul-Jabbar Ayilagbe. Mr. Abdul-Jabbar Ayilagbe, if you can hear us, and we have inputs of the youths as well. You are the chairman, the #1 in the National Youth Council of Nigeria Ogun State chapter. Comrade Abdul-Jabbar Ayilagbe, can you hear us? Let's take you. Well, if it's not there, we can also have the NANS representative. That's Comrade Tomiwa Bangoshi of NANS, National Association of Nigerian Students, or we can have the National Association of Ogun State Students, Comrade Ubulombi Lekin. Any of the three?
Hello.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, good afternoon, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. My name is Abdul-Jabbar Ayilagbe, the Ogun State Chairman, National Youth Council of Nigeria. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me first and foremost, on behalf of myself, the leadership, and the entire youth of Ogun State, appreciate the government of Ogun State, ably led by His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun MFR, for the government support to the youth constituency in Ogun State, particularly the facilitation of the immediate release of our youth that were arrested during ENSA's protest, and also the support of the government of the state during COVID era that made the government to release palliative to the youth in Ogun State. We pray Almighty God to continue strengthening His Excellency and member of his team to enable them drive Ogun State to where we will be very proud of. With regards to contribution of the youth or the input of the youth constituency in Ogun State, number one, of course, we know there is an agricultural revolution in Ogun State presently. We appreciate the government for that, and we will encourage the government to sustain the tempo, while we will advise the government to step down this agricultural initiative to local government basis. Of course, we know there is, of course, we have Anchor program where many of our youth are engaged in cassava planting, in rice, and the likes. We also like, of course, we appreciate those ones. We appreciate the initiative also, particularly that one in the area of poultry. We will appreciate if this can be stepped down to local government level, whereby youth will be selected on local government basis. Of course, we know most of the first part of all this were selected on local government basis, but we will want it now at present, it is being monitored at the state level. Let us have it also at the local government level, where we can have many of our youth that will participate. Number two, we appreciate, number two is in the area of vocational training. Of course, at the Peace Party with His Excellency, we appreciate that the governor has promised to include 250 youth now per local government, that will now have 5,000 across the local government. We appreciate this gesture, and going forward after such training, we will appreciate if these youth that have been involved in all this kind of one vocational training or another are being patronized by government. At our level too, for this vocational training, on October 7, 2010, we flag off Ogun Youth Entrepreneurship Program, whereby we selected, with assistance of some private individual, to train 50-50 youth per local government. We have started in Abeokuta North. Those youth were trained in tailoring, in barbing, in shoemaking, and hairdressing. 50 of them were selected, and in fact, they are training. They are on second month of their training now. Not only in Abeokuta North, we have them in Abeokuta North, we have them in Yewa South, we have them in Ijebu North, and we have them in Remo North. The other two have started. Then we are hoping to flag off the remaining one in the court by before the close of November. So that is what we are. But the appeal we are making to government now is that after successful training of these young ones, government and government agencies should be encouraged to patronize these young people. The number 3 I have on my list here is subvention to youth organizations. Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in previous administration in Ogun State, youth organizations are always given subventions. Subventions are given to those organizations, those youth organizations who are doing community development services, youth development services. We have them spread across the state. Organizations such as Manowar, Red Cross, Girls Guide, Girls Brigade, and the likes, Scouts, and many of them like that, who go into our secondary schools and develop our young ones. They are trying to build our youth. They are trying to build the young class of Ogun State rightly. They are trying to prepare them better for that greater future of Ogun State. It is our belief that when these organizations are rightly supported, of course, the little they are doing now, they will be able to do more. So previous administration have been doing it. We will encourage this present administration, ably led by His Excellency President Abiodun, to look towards subvention for these youth organizations too. And we do know that when this is done, definitely these youth organizations will be able to do very much more. And of course, we also want His Excellency to help us include for next year budget educational aid to youth whose parent does not have capacity to send them to school, particularly those youth who are very brilliant. Particularly those youth who are brilliant. So if government can extend financial aid to such youth with good GP in their respective institutions, in a way, it will encourage them. It will encourage them and stimulate their interest into contributing to growth of our nation. Another one that I have here is support from government to youth who have well-written business proposal. Some of our youth have attended several trainings, and some of them are doing little things on their own. It is our hope that those youth with good business proposal, either in poultry, in business development, and the likes, when such youth, it may not be all of them at a go, maybe at least 5, 10, 20 of them across the state with good proposal. When they are assisted like that, of course, they are the one that will go out the street there to announce to their colleagues that our government in Ogun State are actually doing well. Of course, Your Excellency, we also have on our list a periodic orientation and sensitization of our youth on self-recovery, values, and morals. You all agree with me that one of those things that we have lost in our society today is good values and morals that has been there in our society for a very long time. So we will appreciate if, of course, at our level, we have been doing it, going to different churches, going to mosques, to give our young ones necessary orientation that they need to be doing, necessary things they need to be doing to be a pride to our society. It is our belief that if such this is taken up by government, we will be doing our part to complement government effort. Your Excellencies,
we
of
have
course,
to project here because of time. We still have some others that are waiting to also drop in their own contributions and suggestions. Thank you very much. I'm very sorry. It's because of time, so that we can also give others the opportunity to air their views here. But your comments, your suggestions are well noted, and I want to assure you, you will see action when it's been implemented in the year 2020 budget. Earlier on, the chairman, Chartered Institute of Personnel Management of Nigeria was on, and we couldn't have a perfect connection. I'm sure she's there now, Miss Debbie. If you can hear me, can we take your contribution straight? Chairman, Chartered Institute of Personnel Nigeria. Thank you.
Good afternoon, sirs. Good afternoon, Excellencies. It's a privilege to be part of this section, and I want to commend the governor for what he's been doing, and I want to also say that we also know that there's still much to be done, especially in the area of human capital development, which is our own core area. I want to say that it's a well-known fact that the human capital are the most are the assets of any nation. The American nation, the USA, they don't have as much resources as we have. All they have is human capital and agriculture. But they've been able to utilize their people to achieve the much they have. So in our planning, we should make room for our people. we should make room for the development of our people. We should make room for the development of our human capital, because these are the major resources that we can use to achieve every other resources or every other thing that we want to achieve in the state. And so I do not want to speak so much, because I know that there's a lot more that will be spoken, but I want to end by saying thank you to the governor, thank you to members of the cabinet, and thank you for all you have been doing. And we say we expect more, and we know we will not be disappointed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Edith, for your wonderful for sticking to the time allotted to you. Let's jump over to the speakers now, and if we have Comrade Lasisi or Comrade Emmanuel Bankole. Comrade Emmanuel Bankole is of the Nigerian Labour Congress of the state. That's the #1 Labour leader. And for the Trade Union Congress, we have Comrade Lasisi. Any of the two that we have online joining us, can we take your contributions at this point? Either Comrade Lasisi of the Trade Union Congress or Comrade Bankole of the Nigerian Labour Congress. Can we have you?
Good afternoon, Your Excellency. I'm going to stand on the existing protocols. Hello.
We can hear you.
Okay. Permit me to stand on the existing protocols. Your Excellency, it is no longer news that workers receive the long-awaited new minimum wage. What remains unforgettable and newsworthy is the seemingly seamless way the payment was eventually made. Your Excellency, I want to appreciate you sincerely for keeping faith with the promise you made to the entire workers in the state. And I want to promise the loyalty, support, and cooperation of the entire workforce to your administration and to Your Excellency. On the part of Labour, I want to assure you we will continue to be a dependable, reliable, and responsible ally to government with a bid to galvanize workers' cooperation and support in moving our state to the position of economic vibrancy. We pray the comfort seed which your government is planting today for our individual and collective workforce in the state will be reaped later in the year. Your Excellency, we will be able to say what the economic damage the COVID-19 pandemic has brought to the entire world. There was a widely held agreement among economists that it will have a severe and negative impact on the global economy. Your Excellency, the economic damage caused by the COVID-19 pandemic was largely driven by a fall in demand. There were no consumers to purchase the goods and services available in the global economy. This dynamic will be clearly seen in heavily affected industries such as travel and tourism. We appreciate the efforts of Ogun State government in curbing the spread of the virus. However, with protocols of and this has reduced pocket of every Nigerian worker. Across the globe, a lot of workers have lost their jobs. In advanced countries, they fell back to unemployment allowances. But in Nigeria, many lost their job, but with no succor. It is better government retain the workforce and pay their full emolument at this trying period. If government should downsize at this point in time, there is because there is nowhere to fall back to. Our dearest gateway state is not an exception in the global recession. Hence, there is a dire need to do the needful and to prepare for the year 2021 budget. Now, Ogun State workers and 2021 budget. I want to give kudos to Your Excellency for keeping faith with the state workforce, even in the face of the hard-biting economic recession. The internally generated revenue of the state government And even the federal allocation continue to reduce and dwindle. Yet, workers in Ogun State continue to receive their monthly salary before the month ended. There's no doubt about it. Since this administration came on board, government has shown an exemplary leadership character by ensuring that the salaries of workers were paid before the month ended. We want to appreciate you on this, sir. I only need to remind Your Excellency of some of the challenges workers in the state are still facing. We appreciate you, we give you our support, and we will continue to discharge our duty to the best of our ability. The issue of minimum wage has been settled already. Other demands of workers in the MOU signed with the Ogun State government are still there. It will be of interest to the entire workforce if in the 2021 budget, all these demands are equally captured. The backlog of 10 months of unremitted monthly deductions, which has been vigorously distressed and argued as part of workers' salaries, is still there. It will be highly appreciated if Your Excellency looked into this in the 2021 budget. So also several months of unremitted government counterpart fund in the contributory pension scheme is also there. It will be highly appreciated if you look into this as well. And Your Excellency, I want to appeal that you should continue to give in focus the of 2018, 2019, and 2020 promised by the team that represented you at the negotiation table that workers in the state will start.
Well, it appears we lost the audio there, but thank you very much, Comrade Lasisi.
Personnel into public and civil service needs urgent attention in order to fill the existing vacancies in all the offices, even in schools, hospitals, and all the agencies. And finally, sir, there's a
well, thank you very much, Comrade Lasisi, Acting Chairman. Congress. All the contributions you can send to our chat box or drop the email that you use in registering for this virtual meeting. At this point, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the Governor of Ogun State has listened with rapt attention. He would like to just drop a brief remarks because there are still some other pressing state matters he has to attend to. But I'm assuring you that Her Excellency the Deputy Governor will still be here with us to take us through the concluding part of this town hall meeting and this interactive session with the stakeholders. At this point, we would like to have the voice of the number one citizen of the state just chipping into the contributions that we've harvested so far. His Excellency, Prince Tapo Abiodun MFR.
Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, all other members of our team that are here present, all our revered and distinguished invitees and guests, our cabinets, our elder statesmen, chairman of our great party, our community development administration heads, our religious leaders, members of civil society, representative of our youth and students, all other eminent guests or speakers that have joined to take part in this budget process and town hall meeting. Gentlemen of the press, I want to sincerely appreciate all of you for the very brilliant contributions that you have made and that I have seen so far. It promises to be a very eventful and meaningful occasion of the cross-fertilization of ideas and contribution towards the building and future together agenda, no doubt. From the bits I've listened to, we've had contributions from different people. I'll highlight some of those that I recall. Someone spoke about intensifying ongoing training for our youth, and by strengthening our training centers and laying Shasha, for an example, people suggested that we should ensure that we have a governing council for the Shasha that we wait for proper programs in the administration of that institution. These are the kind of things we look forward to hearing. We are taking on board. There's a lot of a discussion about women empowerment, women support, women entrepreneurship, which we are very, very particular and very passionate about. Let's talk about strengthening and fostering our infrastructural development, sustaining road infrastructure that we're doing, but extending it towards farm settlements. I believe that was the chairman of our Elders Advisory Council that mentioned that. And that is also
noted. Particular mention was made of the fishing community everywhere.
Our youth also spoke about ensuring sustainable participation and inclusion in government. The appreciation of what we have done so far in the farming, we recall that we did the job better. That allowed us to identify those that were either underemployed or employed. From that just water, we are continuing to harvest our youth for different sectors as we find them fit. To date, employed or empowered close to 10,000 of our youth in the agri sector. The partnership with Central Bank has provided over 700 million towards empowering them in the Afro scheme. We've done the same with the program project, the Padama guys. The rice partnership that we had in Lebanon that has been very successful. We continue to sustain this. We have also mentioned that we're doing a youth empowering scheme that would allow us to target about 250 youth public development. And the plan, like I mentioned earlier, is to ensure that this youth begin to receive something in the meantime. And during that period, we will embark on training them aggressively so we can prepare them for different sectors, from our housing sector to our infrastructure sector to our agri sector. So those that will train on how to become bricklayers, welders, painters, and so on and so forth. But they will receive stipend in the meantime. Probably they have so many people they are still together. We also listen to contributions in the areas of our labor. One of our labor leaders appreciated the fact that this administration has been focused on timely payment of salaries from day one. From the very first thing that we got us, we pay salaries on time. We also have recently implemented the minimum wage. And we did this because it was in line with the agreement that we put in the table. It has come with very heavy costs on our side. It has come at a time that is one of the most difficult periods in economic history, in this state and in the country at large. But we kept faith with that promise. We also would like to call on people to be also very considerate in their demands. We know that government at this time is struggling with finances. And people also appreciate the fact that even during the pandemic, whilst entrepreneurs could not afford the living because they now become to a lockdown. Organized labor didn't suffer. The salaries kept up the same. So I'm not sure that labor would boldly say that they suffered any consequence of any pandemic because their salaries were always paid on time. So I want you to continue to appreciate the law and to plead the be very considerate because these states will have an obligation to every citizen of the state, those that are in organized labor and those that are not in organized labor. But we commit very to ensure that our promise to our workforce and their welfare is made our topmost priority. On this note, I want to commend you that have organized this background stakeholders forum. I want to charge the rest of all that have not spoken that are here to speak to be very forthcoming with all ideas. We're going to need all these ideas. This is the essence of this forum, and this is the essence of this government. I want to assure you that our promise to you is to improve this state better than we get it. We are determined to improve the lot of our people. We do not promise to have all the answers to all the problems, but we promise that we will make this state much better than we get it. That is a promise that is take to the bank. I have other state commitments, and consequently, I will take my leave, but I think God will be there with you. And I also want to join us, all those that make contributions, to please forward your contributions in writing so that they can be well captured and documented and properly. So you will see your contributions displayed in the final output of our budget. Once again, I want to thank you for joining me and obliging us at this virtual town meeting. And I want to commit to you that all the conditions will be taken into consideration in line with our policy for inclusive governance. Once again, happy to welcome and happy for that dedication.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Governor of the Gateway State. It has promised that Our Excellency will still be with us as we continue deliberating, injecting our contributions, suggestions, comments, and ideas as we reflect for the 2021 budget. And I'm sure we still have some few grounds to cover before we eventually bring the program to a close for today. We have our religious bodies, we still have our students and our youth, and we still have the automobile and technical associations who still contribute their own quota, as well as the local government caretaker committee chairman for Ogun East Senatorial District. Don't forget that this interactive session with our stakeholders is on the 2021 budget, and we're starting off with the Ogun East Senatorial District. If we have our comrades, as we quickly end that of the students and the youth, National Association of Nigerian Students, NANS, Comrade Tonua Bagushi, if you're still there, let's have you, and we'll follow it suit with the National Association of Ogun State Students, Comrade Ogun Leke. Either of the two that you have still there, you can just unmute yourself and let's have your comments. Either NANS or National Association of Ogun State Students.
Good afternoon, sir. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, the Secretary to the Governor of Ogun State, all other protocols well and duly observed. My name is Comrade Bangboshe Tomiwa Peter, the Chairman of the National Association of Nigerian Students. First and foremost, I want to appreciate the state government for coming with this kind of initiative. Indeed, these has rekindled the hope of Nigerian students and also the citizens of Ogun State. And also, this has also made us to realize that truly His Excellency is interested in ensuring that we have a future together. Sir, as regards the student constituency, we first of all want to appreciate the Excellency, Prince Dapo Abiodun, the most student-friendly governor in the entire Federal Republic of Nigeria, for his spirit of accommodation and for extending his hand of graciousness to Nigerian students. We want you to know that we will continue to support this administration of yours, and Nigerian students are solidly behind you. Sir, in order not to beat around the bush, it will interest me to let you know that the leadership of the APES student body in the Gateway State, the National Association of Nigerian Students, want the state government to give priority to the allocation to the educational sector in Ogun State. We believe that for us to have any sustainable development in the state, the educational sector must be taken seriously. And also, the educational sector is a sector that can also generate more revenue, more IGR for the government. And so, we want you to know that Nigerian students need the help of the state government. And some of the things we want the state government to include into the budget, aside from the statutory allocation of funds, we want the government to prioritize the payment of free to Nigerian students, as we believe that this will serve as a relief to the Nigerian students to further pushing the effect of the COVID-19 in our society. And also, like I said, the time we were privileged to meet with the governor, the state of roads that lead to 90% of our tertiary institutions in the Gateway are in their deplorable state. We acknowledge the state government for their intention in providing succor to our roads, most especially in all the local government in the state. As Nigerian students, we want this generosity to be extended to all our roads and institutions. We know that the state government is a talk and do person, and they will also look into this. So, it is very, very important for me to note this, that at this very point in time, Nigerian students are going through hardship as a result of the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic. Majority of our people are unemployed. And as a matter of fact, 40% of Nigerian students from statistics shows that there are people that fend for themselves in order to sponsor themselves throughout their education. We will appreciate it so much if the state government can increase the subvention of all our state-owned institutions in such a way that will bring relief and reduction in the amount payable as tuition fee by Nigerian students in the Gateway State. We also want the government to assist Nigerian students in putting back all our laboratories in our state-owned institution back to a working state. We need more in schools where we have laboratories that are working. We need more because the society we have now, it is more of practical application than theoretical application of what we have in our institutions. We also want the state government to assist the management of our institutions in providing infrastructural facilities. We need infrastructures in our schools. We need infrastructures in order to aid learning and also to provide relief for our students. It's no longer news that the last administration in the Gateway State
didn't have any capacity building policy of the state government in any of our tertiary institutions. We acknowledge the doggedness of Prince Abiodun for deeming it around our section after his emergence as a state governor. Sir, Nigerian students are demanding for more infrastructural facilities in our campuses. And also, concerning the issue of transportation as earlier raised, we want the government to come with another relief for Nigerian students in providing Marcolo buses for all our state-owned institutions to convey students from their community down to their lecture hall. We believe that the state government is a talk and do. We believe that our governor, Peter Kwabiodu, is a talk and do man. And we believe in him because his activities so far are proven to the entire Nigerian student that really this administration has come to provide relief for Nigerian students. And also, we will not want to be excluded in the development in this state. That is why we want the state government to give priority to the educational sector. We want adequate funding of education. We want provision of adequate facilities and infrastructures that will aid learning in our institution. Thank you so much for this opportunity to contribute our token. And we want to assure this administration of the unelected support of all Nigerian students for this administration. Likewise, also, our ministry would me well if I fail to commend the effort of the state government by implementing the increment of the minimum wage. Our parents has really enjoyed so much, and we are also at the receiving end of this new policy. This is a masses friendly policy, and we allow the state government for this. We hope to see more in the coming months, in the coming weeks, in the coming year, and we make you land well and take us to the promised land. Aluta continua, Victoria, Asata. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Tomiwa Bangoshe of the National Association of Nigerian Students. We can also quickly wrap up that sector as we have the National Association of Ogun State Students. Comrade Ogunombi Leke, if you are still there. Comrade Ogunombi Leke, if you are there, can we quickly take your own contributions? Comrade Ogunombi Leke, if you are there. If not,
Good afternoon. Hello.
Yeah, comrade. Yes, quickly. Thank you. 2 minutes.
Yeah. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, the Deputy Governor, the Chief of Staff, the SSG, the Chief of Staff, and all other protocol well and duly observed. I will say that the entire Ogun State students, both home and abroad, are solidly behind the agenda, the good agenda of the Deputy Governor of Ogun State. And I must give kudos to him for all he has been doing for the student constituency. When he came to power, he said, he will do everything humanly possible in his capacity to make sure life is easy for our students, both home and abroad. And since he has been sworn in as governor of the state, he has been doing his best. Even when there was lockdown, he did everything possible to make life easy for our students at home and those that are even stranded in schools. The Commissioner for Works told us that the governor instructed him that after the roads that leads to hospital, the next roads that should be given urgent attention to are roads leading to our schools. We give kudos to the governor. I want to assure him again that in this agenda, we are with him. But we like to say that it should please, as a matter of urgency, some of our primary and secondary schools are not fenced. And this is exposing our students to some dangers of being kidnapped. In fact, even when the school closes and the student leaves to their different houses, this school serves as hideout for criminals. So we are appealing that the government should please help us fence our schools with gates and with security. So with that, when our students are in school, and even when they are not in school, the school remain a safe place. Secondly, the last time we met with the Excellency, he promised us that the collation of lists of Ogun State students, both in the state and outside the state, will commence so that our boss will be paid. We want to appeal again that they should please hasten up this collation, so that these our students, while they are resuming back to school, we have little to relieve the difficulty this COVID-19 pandemic has caused. Thirdly, I would like to commend the Commissioner for Education, because immediately he was sworn in as Commissioner for Education in the state. Immediately, he started moving from one school to the other to identify the problems and the difficulties our students are facing. And now we can see their touches in solving this problem. We appreciate them. We want to say that all these programs from federal government and state government should please be extended to students. All students are youth, but not all youth are students. We are appealing that all these empowerment from the federal government should be extended to students, and state government should be extended to students. We have students at NC level, degree, BSc level, and even at master's level that are into entrepreneurship, that also need funding, that also need financial assistance from government. That they should extend all this empowerment from federal government and state government to our students too. And subvention to our schools should please be increased a bit. They should please increase subvention to our schools a bit. We believe with all this, education in the state will be moved to the next level. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you very much, Comrade Oburombi Leke of the National Association of Ogun State Students, for your own contributions. And can we touch on our I'm sure Dr. Oyesoya Sadiq on for quite some time. Dr. Oyesoya Sadiq, representing the Muslim community in Ogun East Senatorial District. Can we harvest your contributions, please? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. As announced, my name is Oyesoya Sadiq. I have the mandate of the League of Imams and Alphas in Ogun State, specifically Ogun East Senatorial District, to present what we consider to be an agenda to the Ogun State government, ably led by His Excellency Prince Dapo Abiodun. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, permit me to go straight to the mandates that I have. I have been directed by the Leagues of Imam and Alphas in Ogun State to speak on 3 sectors. I have the first one on education, the second one on youth empowerment, and the third one on security. I'll be very quick and I will leave the details, for I have a prepared speech, and at the end of this presentation, I'll be willing to send it to the designated email address. On education, I have been directed to recommend to the Ogun State government to focus on the following. The League of Imam and Alphas would appreciate if 10 to 20% of the budgetary allocation to education be maintained and sustained by the Ogun State government as reflected in the 2020 budget. I mean, the revised budget of this year. But the second one is that there should be total upgrading of all the educational infrastructure across all levels of education in the state. This can be done in phases in order not to onboarding the state governments. I know there is actually scarcity of funds to achieve this, but this can be phased. The third one is I also have the mandate of the league to recommend to the Ogun State government to embark on employment of more teachers into our schools. We are aware of some of the teachers that are retired and some are also retiring. And there's also the need for us to fill the gap. And also I have the mandate to recommend as well that there should be massive deployment of ICT, so technical colleges and tertiary institutions in the state, in order to facilitate effective and efficient teaching learning environment, specifically. So if it is possible, and this can actually be done with the collaboration and assistance of the organized private sector in the state, there should be provision of laptop or palm top or
whichever one, or device which can aid teaching and learning, in technical education, specifically and tertiary institutions. And finally, on education, I have been directed to recommend to the state government that there should be a policy through the Minister of Education whereby there will be reduction of the rate of out-of-school children by 50% at least in the next 5 years. So this can be achieved, and they are achievable. On youth empowerment, I go straight. I have the mandate also to recommend to the state government that the government should allocate at least 25% of the budgetary allocation to youth empowerment in the states, owing to the recent happenings across the country. Number two, I have also been directed to recommend that the Ogun State government should embark or should put in policy that would eventually lead to the employment of at least 20,000 youths, direct and indirect labor, through ICT, arts, entertainment, and tourism in the state. The state is blessed with a lot of resources, and this can actually be accomplished. And then third one under youth empowerment is that the state government should consider the feasibility of establishing youth trust fund. You can call it any name, youth trust fund, youth development fund, such that at least in the next 5 years, 50 billion naira can actually be what be raised in order to empower youth, economically and socially. And finally, I have the mandate also to recommend to the state government to mainstream youth in the policies, programs, and institutions of the state. And finally, on security. I have the mandate of the League of Imams and Alphas to recommend to the state government that the state government should conclude an arrangement of the inauguration of and proper organizational structure for the community policing outfit codenamed Amotekun. And in the process of recruiting those who would eventually be members of that security outfit, it is highly recommended that the youth in Ogun State should be made part of that. All these are some of the things that I've been directed to, and all other details and other things that have the mandate of the league to present to the state government will surely be forwarded to the designated email address. I sincerely thank you for this opportunity. And good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sadiq. And we have the counterpart from the Christian community, as the Christian Association of Nigeria, Apostle Kurede Awulesi from Ogun East. You can also join us. While we'll wait for your connection, let's see if we can take the contribution coming from the civil society organizations, Justice, Development, and Peace Commission for the Djibouti in Ogun East Senatorial District. Here we have Mr. Handing back. This is DC rating of Justice, Development, and Peace Commission in Djibouti. Can we have your contribution? If you can hear me. Okay, let's see if we can harvest the thoughts of caretaker committee chairman in Ogun East Senatorial District. Either Mr. Femi Olukoya Odogolu or Honorable Rotimi Akisoya. Any of the two, can we have one representing the local government caretaker committee Senatorial District? Okay, I can see Honorable
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Prince Abiodun, Governor of Ogun State. Good afternoon.
Please go ahead, Honorable Olukoya.
Please permit me to stand on existing protocol. Can you hear me, please?
Clearly, we can.
Okay, thank you very much. I will just itemize our thoughts on 6 points. The first one is that in Ogun East, we are looking at the creation of an industrial hub to address the unemployment of our teeming youth in the area, and also with the growth of agricultural development interest in Ogun East. It is inevitable that we need a hub that can absorb this agro produce so that we won't just be transferring farm produce to other states for other places for processing. Legislation may be also considered to enhance this private sector investment, especially along the Shagamu or corridor, so that this can actually address conducive environment for private investors. Two, we're also looking at local government for the ease of our people, goods, and services. Three, it has been observed even at the local government that we have serious shortages of civil servants, especially between the cadre of 001 and 06. These people include security guards, cleaners, health attendants, to mention a few. It would be nice if this is considered in the 2021 budget. Okay. Our public schools are in very deplorable state. We also want to thank His Excellency the environment of our public schools are not conducive for learning. So we need to see what we'll do in the 2021 budget. 5, waste management is still a major problem in Ogun East. There is need to engage our people more on the need for a cleaner environment, a conducive atmosphere for social investors who can invest in waste to I think we should not allow to just go down the drain. There's serious deplorable infrastructure within those estates, and this will also complement the new estates that the Ogun State government is currently establishing. These are our thoughts, and we want to thank His Excellency for his usual support in accommodating us in his policy making in Ogun State. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Femi Olukoya, Caretaker Committee Chairman for local government, representing the Chairman from the East Territorial District. We still have Mrs. Jisu Iriti of Justice Development and Peace Commission there. We would like to have your contributions, or Apostle Kuridi Awulisi of the Christian Association of Nigeria, also from Ogun East, would like to take your contributions. As we also get in towards the end of this program, the voice of the Association of Retired Heads of Service and body of permanent secretaries, if you're there, we can harvest your own contributions as well. Any of these three that you are on, you can quickly come up and drop your suggestions, contributions, and ideas. Or if we have Mr. Sheku Additional representing the civil society organization from the East Central District, we can have your contributions. Any of these 4 categories, if you can hear me, you can unmute yourself and let's have your own contribution to the discourse for today as we prepare the 2021 budget. The civil society organization, Mr. Sheku Additional, retired heads of service and body of permanent secretaries, and of course, the Justice Development and Peace Commission, Ijebu-Ode. Okay, we can have the retired heads of service and permanent secretary. Just unmute yourself, Otuba Babatudu Shokoya, and let's take your contributions, sir.
Your Excellency, would like to use the opportunity of this forum to give some of the highlights of our constitution.
It's like we're having difficulties with the audio of that quality coming from the retired heads of service and permanent secretaries, where we have October Babatudu Ushukoya. If we're able to fine-tune that, we can take the comments. Else, let's see if we have the Justice Development and Peace Commission or the civil society organizations. October Ushukoya, can you hear me clearly now?
Hello.
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 We are also suggesting.
Yeah,
Hello. We are also suggesting that in the coming budget, the tertiary institutions should be included. The state government is also advised to seek financial support from the federal government on the implementation of the new teachers' salary.
The signal
Normalcy.
seems to be fluctuating. Would like Otuba.
Hello. Good afternoon.
We're doing that. We harvest.
National College of Education. On land administration, we are recommending that government should be recommended by Lands and Survey to boost government revenue and relieve those who might have been involved. In the area of youth,
Sorry, Otuba Babatudu Ushukoya, I'm afraid we have to.
ongoing construction and rehabilitation.
Sorry, Otuba Babatudu Ushukoya. The signals from your end is fluctuating, and we need you to just relocate to another area so that we can hear you clearly. While you do that, let's quickly take Mrs. Disu Iriti of the civil society organization representing the Justice Development and Peace Commission, Ijebu-Ode. Mrs. Disu Iriti, if you can hear me, let's have you.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you hear me?
Clearly, ma'am.
Yeah, because the network here is a bit bad. It's like fluctuating. Send the presentation to your mail, but at least I will summarize it. Yeah, good afternoon, everybody on the platform. I'm Ireti Disu from Justice Development and Peace Commission, Ijebu-Ode. And we have a short presentation on the proposed 2021 budget. And our focus for this, for 2021, we have focusing on sustainable development goals, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 13. And on the first one, which is basically on agriculture, food security and poverty reduction, which actually is on goal 1 and 2, we are asking, suggesting to the government to get input for small scale farmers, like fertilizer, seedlings, and to enhance their productivity. Single interest, dig it between 5 and 9%, so that will at least encourage the farmers. Then we are also proposing that the social investment, social safety nets, this homegrown school feeding should be continued, because after this COVID-19 break, all these youths, they need to be at least encouraged in their various schools. And still on agriculture, we are asking that the government should work on the network of roads, because some of the farmers, they couldn't even have good road to transport their farm inputs, like communities like in the waterside, even in Ikene, Ijebu, Igbo farm settlements, all of them, they are having a lot of problem, transporting their farm inputs to the town. Employ in the state, so that they can at least help the farmers. Then government will also help in establishing veterinary centers all around across the 3 senatorial districts, so that the farmers can also have access to cheap products to boost their farming. Then addressing goal 3, which is on good health and well-being. All our primary health centers, I would say almost 70% of our primary health centers, they are not in good state. There is the need to declare state of emergency in some of the primary health centers in the state. Like we have those from Osun, Ijebu Northeast local government, Ojelano, Ijebu East. If the government can at least see if they can rehabilitate new primary, at least 2 in each community, in each local government, 2 new primary health centers, that will help a long way. That will help the community in a way. And since the outbreak of the COVID-19, hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you. You
okay.
Just
you said
30 seconds more.
Oh, 30 seconds. No, I still have a lot, but though I've sent my presentation. Also, I want to talk about quality and affordable education. Some of our primary and secondary school needs a lot of rehabilitation and construction of well-equipped functional vocational centers, because a lot of the youths, they wanted to attend vocational centers, but we don't have a good one that is being run by the government in Ogun State. So if the government can at least establish some vocational center across the state, that will go a long way to help the youth to have a vocational centers. Then on issue of gender, which is a goal 5, provision of safe home for victims of domestic and gender-based violence is actually on the increase. When you talk about rape and issue of safe home, there is a need for government to have a safe home for victims of domestic violence. If government can at least establish, if it's just one in each of the senatorial districts, to help those that are victimized sexually, and establish institution, at least more multi-door. We have multi-door, we have in Ijebu Ode, we have in Shagamu, we have in Abeokuta, but there still need to increase the number of multi-door courts that we have across the state. Then on issue of environment, disposing waste is a problem in the state, because a lot of people want to dispose their waste. There is nowhere to dispose it. People are just them to leave when they want to drop it. So the government should make provisions for waste containers in strategic places across the state, so that people will have, even if they have to pay, at least there be provision for it. Make provision for public toilets, because issue of environment is very germane. because when there is polluted environment, a lot of diseases can happen. So there is the need for public toilets. Then invest and rehabilitate all the drainages. The drainages are so bad in the state now, and it's affecting even the roads. The roads are so bad, there is the need to really construct, do a lot of work on road rehabilitation and road construction in the state. I talk of Ogun East Senatorial District. I can't even point to a good road that we have across Ogun East Senatorial District. Then the people with disability, there is a need to have a desk from each of the local governments. People with disability across the states, they don't have a place to coordinate. Though we know that they are under the Ministry of Women Affairs, but let each local government have a desk officer so that people with disability can have a place they can go and complain. And then the Ogun State disability law, during the last regime, they said it was signed, but later we discovered that it was not signed. If the present governor can at least expand it, see what can be done to make sure that it is signed into law in 2021, that would be greatly appreciated by the people with disability. I think that is something what I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. This is the Secretary of Justice, Development and Peace Commission, for your contributions. Let's quickly switch over to the automobile and technical associations. If we can take Mr. Adeleke, the chairman, or Mr. Olawale Obadi, the former chairman, we'll be happy to have your contributions as well. The automobile and technical associations, Mr. Adeleke or Mr. Olawale Obadi. Are we having a? If not, if we can harvest the concluding part of the suggestions and contributions coming from the Ogun State Cooperative Federation, Alhaji Balogun, I see that we are still standing by. Or we can have the input coming from the Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries, where we have Otumba Babatunde Ushupoye.
Speaker.
Otumba Babatunde Ushupoye, are you still there, sir? Mr. Adeleke, Chairman, Automobile and Technical Associations, or the former Chairman, Mr. Olawale Obadi. Do we still have it there? Well, it's the, or if we have the Christian Association of Nigeria, Apostle Koredia, we listen. We've had from the Muslim community. We also want to take the suggestions coming from the Christian community, Apostle Koredia, Awulis, East. Or better still, the #1 labor man in Ogun State, Comrade Emmanuel Bankole. But don't forget, this is a town hall meeting, as it involves the preparation for the 2021 budget of the Ogun State government. We are having an interactive session with all the stakeholders involved in ensuring that the 2021 budget is well captured. Yes, Alhaji Balogun, the chairman of the State Cooperative Federation, I learned you are still standing by for your concluding comments and contributions from the Community Development Council. Otherwise, if we can't take you, well, you can still drop your presentation.
Good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon, sir. Can you introduce yourself and let's have you.
Good afternoon. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon.
I was appreciating while the line went up that time. And we are making 3 major requests. One is that we want the government to include the granting our grant in the budget, the grant for cooperative movement of Ogun State, which we have not been receiving in the last 7 years. In the 7 years of my administration, we have only received it twice, and it's supposed to be a yearly grant. So we want to beg the government, His Excellency, Governor Dr. Prince Dapo Abiodun, to include this in the budget for 2021. That's one thing. The second one is that we appreciate the timely and prompt remittance of our salary earners cooperative deductions. This will enable the cooperative area. Then thirdly, we will appreciate an enabling environment. People have been talking of infrastructures, especially the road network, which is very, very germane in the movement of goods and people from one place to another. We want the government to lay more emphasis on this, especially at the rural areas, where we have our cooperative members and all other members of the state, especially our agricultural-based cooperatives, for us to be able to move our farm produce from the farm to the market. So this is very important. And lastly, gave opportunity for the cooperative movement of Nigeria to float low-cost housing, and basically for cooperators that will cost very little amount of money. We want to make requests on behalf of my movement in Ogun State with the government of Ogun State to provide for us land to enable us benefit from this opportunity. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Hello.
Your contribution. We've been able to touch so many sectors. The political leaders, we have the representatives of the caretaker committee chairman from Ogun East Senatorial District. We also have the contributions coming from the civil society organizations, where we had the Justice, Development and Peace Commission. Our professional bodies were able to put in and inject their own ideas. And we have the representation of the Muslim faithfuls in Ijebu East local government. Likewise, from the Community Development Council, the women groups and associations, the students and the youths, and of course, the acting chairman of the Trade Union Congress. Time will not permit us to take all others, but we are sure that as we move from Ogun East to the 2 other senatorial districts, we keep improving on this. Know for sure that when it comes to technology, we could have some teachers here and there, but we promise that we keep fine-tuning this as we come in terms with the new law. At this point, we will be taking the closing remarks, just like His Excellency promised, from Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, to quickly sum it up before we have the vote of thanks. Her Excellency, Engineer Nohimot Salako Uidili. Your Excellency, can we have your closing
Your
remarks?
Excellency, Prince Dr. Abiodun MFR, the Secretary to the State, the Head of Service, the Chief of Staff to the Governor, the Honorable Commissioner for Budget and Planning, the Commissioner for Finance, other members of the Executive Council, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's been a very engaging session today. And on behalf of His Excellency, I want to thank everyone who has participated here and supported our program by giving us their own views and insight into what it is that we need to include in the budget and also the medium-term expenditure framework that is being prepared by the Ministry of Budget and Planning. His Excellency had spoken about some of the items that were mentioned earlier, but since he had to attend to some other functions, we've had some other new submissions, and I'd like to let you know that all of these we will work on. The Ministry of Budget and Planning has been taking copious notes, and I hope that all our stakeholders have submitted their submissions to the email addresses that have been provided. A lot of interest has been shown in the agripreneurs in Ogun State, developing the sectors for the youth and for women in particular. And as you all know, these are very, very important to His Excellency, and he's very passionate about this group and engaging the youth and also the women in society. So you can be sure that we will do our best to continue to build up on this sector. There were also several submissions about schools, orienters across the state. As you know, last year we started as the years go.
Your Excellency, for putting in your own inputs as a closing remarks for this budget town hall meeting and interactive session with all stakeholders for the 2021 budget of our dear state, Ogun State, the Gateway State. At this point, Your Excellencies, very distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we will move the vote of thanks, and I will be inviting the permanent secretary.
Hello?
Oh, okay, Your Excellency.
So Your Excellency recently domesticated VAC in Ogun State, and Her Excellency, the First Lady, is the coordinator of that. So this is another subject that His Excellency is very passionate about, and we'll continue to see more investment and more movement in that sector going forward. There are other things that have been picked up here, the multi-door courts, the low-cost housing. As you know, we are working with federal government agencies to continue to improve and increase the availability of low-cost housing here, and we will continue to work on those. So in all, we've taken all this on board, and as we go through the other senatorial districts, we'll get a good picture of what the residents and the citizens of Ogun State require of this government, and this will generally craft His Excellency's budget and his planning for the coming years. So I want to, on behalf of His Excellency, thank everybody for taking part today, and we look forward to more engagement in the next few days with the other senatorial districts across the state. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Ogun State, Engineer Nohimot Salako, who did that beautiful closing remarks. At this point, we'll move the vote of thanks as I will be inviting the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Budget and Planning,
Mrs. Fumilayo. Mrs. Dada, please.
Your Excellency, the Governor of the State, Prince Doctor of the Governor of Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of the State, Engineer Mrs. Mahmoud Salako of the Village, Honorable Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Taiwo Olafumi, Honorable members of the House, the Secretary to the State Government, Mr. Ogun, the Head of Service, the Chief of Staff, Alhaji Salisu Shahid, Private Commissioner for Finance, Chief Economic Advisor, Mr. Private Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Mr. Olawu Olabinto SC, distinguished members of the State Executive Council, body of permanent secretaries, political leaders and party stalwarts, members of organized private sector and civil societies, and esteemed traditional rulers, other protocols during the assembly. Then be to the Almighty God, and the benevolence and kindness over our dear state, and leaders and the entire citizenry. We appreciate our dynamic and public-spirited group, His Excellency President Dr. for his support, leadership qualities, and systemic approach to governance, and became the governor of the state. The deputy governor, honorable speaker of the State House of Assembly, secretary to the state government, and other members of the state executive council are also well appreciated for their invaluable contribution to the success of this crucial meeting. In the same way, we cannot but to thank the body of permanent secretaries, highly esteemed traditional rulers, political leaders, representatives of the organized private sector, civil society, various trade groups and associations, our religious leaders and youth for your participation, and my able staff at the Ministry of Budget and Planning. Thank you all for coming. God bless you.
On that note, we'll be drawing the curtains on the interactive town hall meeting on the 20th by the Ministry of Budget and Planning. Just like the permanent secretary said, we thank everyone who participated, and for those who still like to drop their please do that via the email supplied registration, or if you can come straight submit to the Ministry of Budget and Planning your presentations, comments, and suggestions. From here, we will be going to Ogun West Senatorial District for the next town hall meeting. And just before we take the closing national anthem, I would like to invite the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Forestry, Mr. Latif Benson, to give us the closing prayer. Mr. Latif Benson, are you still there? Mr. Latif Benson, just unmute yourself and just give us the closing prayer. Thank you. we'll be taking the closing prayer now. Let's invite Elijah.
We thank the Almighty Allah for giving us the opportunity to participate in the year 2021 budget sensitization program for Ogun Territorial District. Inshallah, we do this time, we pray that we give us the opportunity to witness another town meeting in the West Territorial District. Similar, I mean, you know, time of the South, as well as the Vita, when I in the side, like I love that, similar, I mean, like the life of the Lami, Raman, the Raki, one with the young, young Karan, the way I can style, you know, sort of this starting, start a let's see the long time, very mobility, and you think we're not very, me, to go to the Vita, or the start of my assistant.
Thank you very much. The next town hall meeting on the budget sensitization for year 2021 will be at the West Senatorial District. We hope that you will be getting prepared and you'll be expecting us to have your inputs as well. On that note, I request that we take the national anthem.
Okay, man.
They did the opinion poll. The opinion poll in America. Ask them, who do you trust, Trump